Now, let's take this particular, let's take the whole energy concept also to the point of where it is now done in relationship to, for instance, lots of money. Everybody wishes to be rich, dream about riches. But by now you must realize some fascinating thing. If you look what is happening in the world, there is a limited supply of money. And governments are in such trouble because the banks are folding that they are starting to print money, which means obviously your money is worthless because it's got nothing to back it up. It's just a piece of paper like a newspaper that's being printed. But there is not enough money. So that's a proven fact. Look at the news. Look at the markets. There is not enough money. There's a big flaw in the system, but we're not discussing the flaw at the moment. We're just looking at the principle and the fact that's already proven. So now more and more and more people in the world wants more money, and they're using the secret to imagine themselves with various riches. And you know what? They get the money because they focus on the point. Again, they don't look at the consequential outflow of what they're doing. That means if you work with energy and you take from one point, it comes from somewhere. So if you take money, it comes from somewhere. Within a world system that is not understood on how it actually works and how the wealth of, for instance, the Western countries were built at the lack of, for instance, the countries in Africa, that wealth in itself was actually an act of stealing. So now wishing to have while another won't have, so that you have while there is not enough within a system, would means what? You're actually busy stealing, exactly as you're stealing energy when you're masturbating. Because your experience of masturbation won't happen the way it happens unless you have your point of feeling or your picture or your imagined person that you are having that particular sexual experience with. It won't happen. That's why we specifically suggest self-honesty, because without self-honesty, one will not be willing to consider the consequences of these experiences. You will not be willing to consider, but why are there some in the world with money and others in the world that starve? The person with money must investigate themselves self-honestly. Do they have money because of their place of birth, because of their parents, because of their upbringing, because of their particular social structure? So, the fact that they have money is not even their own design. That's a matter of birth. Those with no money is also a matter of birth. This inequality has taken the world now closer and closer to a brink of total destruction. Because more and more understand one thing, and you can imagine that for yourself. As more and more people are without the basic needs to survive, the human being will turn into a survival instinct being. What will the human do? What will you do for your children if you don't have food? Would you steal? You will steal. Will you sell your body for money? You'll sell your body for money. You'll do whatever it takes to feed your children. We are busy creating a society which is going to have consequences for us for some time to come. And everyone have a look. You feel powerless and helpless to do anything about it. We have created a magnificent way to deal with it. We created an energetic feeling. We call it love. Let's just love the world back together. I mean, let's take that love feeling back to masturbation and sex. How well is that working? 2/3 of everyone that gets together in that feeling of love end up divorcing, isn't it? The others end up in secret relationships. So at the end of the day, very few people in this world are actually in a sexual relationship within a relationship that you can call love. Because it's all about this energetic movement. The moment you're fulfilled with your energy, you tend to have eyes that wonder whether another feeling of energy won't be greater than the one you already have. And then you start searching for another feeling. And you call that love as well. And then you say, I don't love you anymore. I'm now looking for another love. But what you're really looking for is not love. It is energy. So what we are basically saying is that love doesn't really exist as one would like it to be. The love that exists in the world is one based in energy. And that energy has a beginning and an end. It changes from love to hate, from hate to love. It's most prolifically demonstrated in relationships, and specifically in sex and masturbation. For instance, if you are making love to your wife, and while you're making love, a picture pop in that take you to your orgasm, because that's your imaginary relationship that you have on the side, your dream relationship that you in secret masturbate about while you're in your marriage, you must know your marriage is in serious trouble. It's inevitable that you are going to get fed up with your partner because your imaginary relationship is going to grow stronger than your real relationship. And then once that break up, you'll say, okay, cool, now I can actually go out and find another love partner. But in fact, you were already committing an act of adultery in the time that you had your imaginary relationship. The same what happens when you are actually busy with your masturbation relationship. And understand, we are talking here about the principles that happen within energy. Don't believe what I'm saying. Go and investigate it for yourself, self-honestly. Look at yourself and that which you have already experienced. Don't justify. Don't make it right. Be self-honest. And you're going to be amazed at what you're going to find about what's really going on within our so-called oneness reality of the great human being. So, let's look at the point, the implication of you being able to, within a oneness reality, being able to bring into your energetic presence the energy you perceive that when you saw a person walking in the street that you have now an imaginary relationship with, you had a particular feeling that that person transferred to you, which was their energy, that was their presence. So now you bring that presence, which is their energy, into your energy without their permission, and then you masturbate, taking them to an orgasm, creating this imaginary beautiful experience. But what are you really doing? What you do in thought, word and deed is the same. That is an understanding within all our religions. The implication of what you're doing is actually rape. You're actually raping the person. Look at it. You are taking the person against their will, their energy, and you are having a sexual experience. No permission is possible.